Hey guys, what's up? There is a lot of stuff that is on the way out. And I got to thinking about it, and as I'm taking it off the shelf, I figured we should probably talk about it. That's today. So, I've been picking up a lot of stuff here and there. And normally this would not be that big a thing. We're collectors, we're always picking stuff up. But lately, the stuff that I've been picking up has been stuff that replaces older stuff. There has been a lot lately that replaces things we already have in the collection. And I am not so let's get this one out of the way real quick. If you're new here, or maybe you've just never known this one about me yet, I am not the kind of collector that likes to have 18 Wolverines. I am not the guy you come to that has 7 different versions of the Hulk, and every single time there's a new version of the Hulk, we're going to go, hey, let's compare him to the last 9 versions. I'm not that guy. The way that I collect specifically, and some people have already heard this a million times, every single item in the collection has to have a purpose, has to have a story. It has to say something about me, and if it doesn't, it's got to go. That's a rule, and I do actually live by it. I think that it helps to keep my collection continually curated and also helps to guarantee that I'm not going crazy about the things that I buy. Yes, there are things that I want, but for the most part, I'm not looking to constantly upgrade. Now, recently, this has happened. Recently, there have been X-Men and Gamerverse releases, specifically a lot of Marvel Legends, that have forced parts of my collection to become either obsolete or just not quite what I'm looking for anymore. And I got thinking about it. As I take a lot of these items off the shelf, I thought about doing a lot of shorts. But I actually prefer these bigger videos to a lot of the other stuff. Like, the shorts don't bother me necessarily, but it's not my main line of communication. I like to do these videos. So I got to thinking about it, and I gathered up some of the stuff to talk about. Well, let's go ahead and do that. There's a lot of stuff coming out of the collection, and I want to talk about why these items are leaving the collection, and maybe even in some ideas how I feel about that. So, one, very simple. I haven't started these videos back up, but I plan to. There's a video for toy storage where specifically I'm talking about, like, hey, these are the toys that I own that have been around for a while. They interest me, but, like, for whatever reason, they've been in storage for a while, and I don't know if they actually have a place in my collection anymore. Stuff like this. This was during a different part in my collecting. I like Spider-Gwen. I like her a lot. I think she's one of the coolest designs and most interesting characters that we've put forth in a very long time. And it is important to constantly add new ideas to comic books. I thought this was a good one. But I got a little out of hand. See, I wanted Spider-Gwen stuff to the point where I was just buying stuff. This is a pop. Specifically, a bobblehead pop. I don't collect pops. I don't collect bobbleheads. This is double criteria that does nothing for me. I found it in one of the storage boxes, and I said, pointless. So that is one of the items leaving the collection. I see no real purpose for it. It doesn't really serve that much of anything. It doesn't have a major story. It doesn't have. I'm not connected to it in any way. I'm going to put it in my sale box, and chances are somebody will probably give me $3 for this, and I will take it. That doesn't bother me. I'm not out to make money necessarily when it comes to selling a lot of this stuff. I'm just looking to give it to somebody who, as a collector, will appreciate it, love it, get something out of it. They can move on, and I can take that money and do whatever I'm going to do with it. Next, Juggernaut, leaving the collection. I got both his hands, I got the hood, I got the extra head, I got all the parts and everything, he's ready to go. We know why he's ready to go. If you saw the live, there's a Juggernaut from the Gamerverse. I bought that Juggernaut. That makes this one irrelevant. I took a couple of pictures with him trying to see if maybe the idea of him still stuck with me or if it was just about having the best Juggernaut. And right now I have the best Juggernaut, at least for me. And I don't see any future where I'm going to get a Juggernaut that's even better. Maybe there will be a better Juggernaut. What am I trying to say? The same idea as all the people that got up in arms about the Max Hulk, right? Maximum profit, maybe. Okay, I know that the Max Hulk isn't for everybody, and I don't blame you for having that opinion, but for me, he was the best Hulk at the time. The next Hulk they release is going to have to really be something special, or he's going to have to be packaged with something that I can't get anywhere else to force me to buy him. That's the truth of it. Would I like that? No. Would I still probably pass on the thing that I want? Probably, in all honesty. There's probably a really good chance that I would. I'm not that kind of collector. I don't want it. So that's kind of where I am with that. He's gone from the collection. I know that for sure. I have the one that I want. 2 items came in. One of them was Cyclops and Jean Grey, or Marvel Girl, in the 80s costume. The green dress one. I say 80s costume. That gets a little foggy, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the green dress. That Marvel Girl costume specifically. Which means now this guy no longer does anything for me. This is the X-Force Cyclops that came with the Build-A-Figure part. I have the Build-A-Figure part. I have the wire. I have the blast effect, both parts of it. I have the second head. These are the hands that he had, along with the 2 hands. He's complete. And I don't know, maybe when he goes on my sales table, maybe I'll take 15, realistically. I'm pulling a number off the top of my head. He might not even be worth that. And to me, maybe if somebody made me an offer the next time I do a sales table, maybe I'll just take it. He doesn't serve a purpose to me anymore. Why? Because the whole reason I bought him, now this was kind of stepping outside my collection rules, and I said that back when I got him. He is Cyclops, but he's not a Cyclops I care about. I wanted that blast effect. That's all I wanted. I wanted that blast effect. Just like the 90s one had the blast effect that I bought, and I really liked the 97 Cyclops for that blast effect. I thought he was fantastic. That one I wanted because it finished the blast effect and added the actual impact. That is a cool blast effect. And lucky for me, they released an 80s Cyclops that has that blast effect. So that whole figure now is off the shelf and gone. I have no interest in it, which brings me to another Cyclops, actually, because with a brand new 97 Cyclops, which is built in the 80s version, I no longer need this one. This one is also going to be packed up. Yes, this is the Toys R Us Cyclops that was released in the Dark Phoenix pack years ago. Now here's the kicker. I don't know what anybody realistically is going to give me for this Cyclops. It's very up in the air. He's probably going to go on my toy table for like 10 or 15 bucks. Relatively. I'll have to look it up. This one gets complicated, and I understand that. I may be stuck with this Cyclops for a long time because I'm not getting rid of my Dark Phoenix. I saw the other Dark Phoenix that they released, and I was somewhat interested, mildly, but not completely, because that Phoenix, to me, is not as good as the darker color that we got with the other Dark Phoenix from that 2-pack. That Cyclops no longer does anything for me. I don't need that one. I have a better one in terms of its posability, its body. It has the blast effect, everything. That's the Cyclops for me, which means that one isn't. But that's still the Dark Phoenix for me. So I'm not getting rid of that, which puts me at a weird point in understanding how collecting works for me and a lot of other people. If people want, even unboxed, because all my stuff is unboxed, as you can tell. I bag it up, I keep it as complete as I can, but I'm an opener, and I don't save 1,000 boxes, okay? For some of us, plastic is plastic, and that's the king, and the packaging is literally just the trash we throw away. That's true for a lot of openers. So there's going to be a lot of openers that won't mind buying that Cyclops loose, but they'll want it as the complete pack. They'll want that Dark Phoenix, and that they're not getting. Not from me. That does make it a little complicated to sell that Cyclops. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. And also, I don't sell like on any kind of professional level. When I say that I sell at sales tables and whatnot, if there's like a local show that I can get in on and sell and set up a table, I do that. Otherwise, I don't really have a big like a big giant seller circle or something like that. And I don't do a lot of online transactions and such. I'm getting a little more comfortable with it, but it's not really a thing that I focus on. And because of that, it can be really hard to kind of unload some stuff like that. And he's, I think, going to be one of them that I could be stuck with or sitting on for a while. That being said, since we're on the subject, I am also getting rid of this Jean Grey. This is the older Phoenix Jean Grey. But the last Phoenix they released, that one up there, oh, she's beautiful. She's so beautiful. And this one just, it's not it anymore. It's not it. I'm a little at odds on this one. I really, really like that head sculpt. To the point where I half consider pulling the head, getting rid of the body. But that in its own right would make her even more difficult to sell. And I would probably be stuck with these pieces. Because the chance that somebody wants just that Dark Phoenix body, I'm not saying it's, that Phoenix body, I'm not saying it's impossible. But I don't know the exact trading circle that would want it. And that could be difficult. There's a reason I'm going into that when I'm talking about what I'm doing here and why some of these things are going to be tough to get rid of and some of the ways that I'm thinking. I love this face sculpt. I think it is one of the best Jean Grey face sculpts we've ever had. I'm not kidding. I think this is absolutely fabulous. It's fantastic. And this is probably one of the best Jean Grey heads, period, which is a problem because I like it enough that I almost want to keep the head sculpt. But that would make the rest of this, I'd be stuck with it. Unless I find a customizer who would be interested in getting this body and then maybe doing his own head sculpt or something like that. Why am I bringing that stuff up? Because I also want it to be made clear. There are certain parts of this hobby that nobody really seems to talk about. I've noticed it doesn't seem to be brought up very often. But if we buy figures and then we choose to get rid of figures, sometimes it's not just as simple as we sell the figure. We go online and we sell the figure. It's not that simple. Sometimes the stuff that you accumulate, you will get stuck with. Either people don't want it or they don't want it for the price that you're asking. And if you're unwilling to come down, you can't get rid of it. But if they're unwilling to be realistic about it as well, that's also difficult. Say they just want custom fodder. They want that body, that Jean Grey body, but they only want to offer you $5. But they also live in random state, or random area. Let's say they live in Michigan or something, right? Okay, so they live in Michigan. You don't. You live in, I don't know, Detroit. I'm just throwing out random names here, to be fair. Are you willing to send it? They send you $5, you send it. You actually go at a loss. It's going to cost you probably $7 or $8 minimum to send it. Okay? That Herbie over there, in packaging that was pretty much perfect to his scale, he was $23 to send. Okay? So, realistically, sometimes you can get stuck in a situation where you're like, hey, you need to cover the shipping and handling, but I'd like to make $5 off this body. And they're like, well, what's shipping and handling? And if you say something like, well, in the packaging and everything that I've got right now, he's going to ship for like $8.90. Okay, they don't want to pay you $8.90. Tell you what, I'll pay 10. I'll pay 10. Okay, well then I just made like the big like $1.10 or whatever on my figure. It's not worth it for me now to even send it. So, and now we can't make a deal. We're going to see a lot of this get a little more complicated as prices continue to do what they're doing. They're going up. The prices are going up. In case you don't know, that's what they do. They go up. But because of that, we are starting to see a moment where things are going to get a little more complicated, especially in trading circles and selling circles, where if you're not willing to be realistic and work with the people, and we're not getting some real honesty in the trades, you could get stuck with something for a longer time than you're wanted to ever be stuck with it. It's not going to be profitable for you one way or another, but you also don't want to lose money by doing sells and trades. It's going to get complicated, and we're going to have to get very honest very quick. But that's the reason I'm bringing up, hey, I could get stuck with this. This could be a problem. That's the reason, because I want to be honest about the situation. This channel is specifically about collecting. It's about toys. It's about the industry. It's about my fandom at large. And I want to be honest about the hobby. There are downfalls. There are difficulties in this. I have this Captain America. This is the Captain America specifically from the Secret Wars that they released. I like this Captain America a lot. He's got those scales, the scale mail that I like a whole bunch. But that Gamerverse Captain America, this is where it's at. The only thing with him is that he doesn't have the scale. I like the scale mail a lot. I think it's a distinguishing, really cool feature for Captain America. But if I have to pick between the two of them, he does win. And I don't need 3, 4, 5 Captain Americas. I have Ultimate Captain America up there. And I have Gamerverse Captain America over there. I don't need this one. It doesn't do anything for me. I found this from years ago. This is an Arkham City. It came in like a pack of like 4 or 5 figures. It's an Arkham City Scarecrow. It's pretty cool, but it is an older figure. Its posability is not wondrous. I'm not married to this in any way whatsoever. I bought this pack a long time ago to get a Joker and a Harley Quinn, and he just happened to come with it, along with a Batman. It was like an Arkham Asylum pack. And it was a really cool pack at the time. I used that Batman for a very long time. I liked it for a very long time. I still have that Harley Quinn on the shelf. I still think she's a standout piece. And that Joker has been on the shelf for a very long time until just recently when I got the McFarlane Silver Age Joker, which I like a lot. That's my Joker. So that's kind of where I am with that. And that makes this guy's been irrelevant for a long time. I took this guy off the shelf a long time ago, put him in storage, and just recently when I was going back through my storage box, I seen him again and was like, it's time to bag him up. I'm not keeping him. Red Space Ranger. This is from the collection where you could build a Megazord. I have a Red Space Ranger, which I found in the storage box. I have a Yellow Space Ranger, which I found in the storage box. And I have, I think, is this Ninja Force? Yellow Ninja Force Ranger, which I found in the in the storage boxes. I have about 3 or 4 storage boxes, which I'm slowly going through, and I think I might even come in and do videos as I go through and be like, oh, this is cool, or this is not, this is not staying, or whatever, and give like toy memories and stuff like that. I think that might be a kind of a cool show to dive into. But all 3 of these, and if I find their Megazord parts in that storage box, I will add to these. They're gone. I like Rangers, for what it's worth. I did grow up with Power Rangers. I like Power Rangers. But I don't see a purpose to holding on to them. In my Ranger collection, specifically, I have all the Mighty Morphin cast, plus my favorite, the Gold Ranger. I have a green, a white, the original Mighty Morphin cast. I have the Gold Ranger, and I have the Ranger Slayer, the alternate Kimberly. I then have a Lord Zed, and I have Megazords. And it's all I want. There are a couple monsters. Like the Sphinx would be cool. I really liked the Sphinx. I don't know why. He was just a really cool monster to me. And maybe a couple of other guys, random. But for the most part, I didn't jump on the Lightning collection because, like a lot of people, I already had what I wanted. And I'm not talking about a lot of people didn't jump on that collection because they already had what they wanted. I'm being comparative to the ideas here. There were a lot of people that didn't jump on Max Hulk because they already had the Hulk that they wanted. There are a lot of people that complained about the Max Spider-Man because they've already got good Spider-Man, and who really cares about it? This is a thing that happens in toys all the time. Are you willing to upgrade to the next black suit Spider-Man? Are you willing to upgrade to the next Captain America? Are you willing to upgrade to the next Iron Man? What one really matters over the other? That's a question for the collector. It's not a question for me to answer. It's a question for you to ponder. Does it matter to replace and upgrade that figure over and over and over again with the newest version every time? I would argue it's not, but I'm not the one that makes your decision either. That's the truth of the matter. Some of these figures are going to speak to you, and some people, like me, might be a Spider-Man putz. You might buy Spider-Man over and over and over again like a putz. Okay? That's true. I have that problem. I know people that have that problem. So, I get it, okay? But, for me, I already had a set of Rangers. I like that set of Rangers. They're from I think it was called the Legacy Collection, and I'm very happy with them. I can already do a set of photographs and whatnot with a set of Rangers. I have a set of Rangers. I'm happy with them. I could do action figure photography with them if I wanted. I could do skit comedies and things like that if I wanted. There's nothing that stops me from using those figures in the way that I want to use them. And right now, the only way I really want to use them is they're on my shelf over there. And I'm happy. I'm happy with those Rangers. They do exactly what I want them to do. That being said, during that point in time, these Rangers were coming out, and it was really cool, and I was doing the Sentai review, and that was getting a lot of attention, which was kind of hyping me back into the Rangers game, and I just started buying Rangers from shows that I didn't even know, from shows that I didn't care about, from characters that I didn't really like. I don't like Andros, whatever. If you've ever seen my discussions on Rangers in Space, I don't like that guy. I don't like his leadership abilities. I don't like the way that he was a lone wolf. I don't like the way that he's hyped as one of the best Red Rangers. I think he is the kind of leader that gets his team killed. And I'm not kidding about that. I've talked about that many times. He bothers me. He has problems that he never worked through. And as such, he should not be the guy leading a team of people into a situation where they could all end up dead. He is not the leader of that team. As far as I'm concerned, I'm putting my money on TJ all the way. All the way. I'm not listening to him. But I bought him. Why? Because I wanted to make the Space Ranger Zord. So I was just buying the Space Rangers. I gotta get these parts. I gotta put that Zord together. that's a bad way to buy stuff. And sometimes we get into this habit where we're just buying stuff and we're not stopping to think, does this mean anything to me? Do I even care? That's the reason I created my everything has a story rule. Because if it doesn't, it's got to go. And well, now that I'm going back through the boxes and finding storage from a past time when I was just buying stuff to buy stuff, guess what? He's got to go. I am replacing this storm. I debated this for a little while. This storm is not the worst storm ever. It's definitely not the best. I think she was the weakest of the first wave of the 97 line. And while I don't think she's bad, I think she's fine, nothing about her necessarily stands out in the way that makes me keep her over the storm that I have been actively hunting. I have 3 storms that I like. 1, the 1980s storm, Mohawk storm, leather jacket, that storm. 2, I like the 90s storm, which is very comparable to her, but it's not the one I'm talking about. You know the one I'm talking about. And 3, my favorite storm of all time is Swimsuit Storm. That's what I'm going to call her, okay? And because she came in this pack, she's right there, I have her. That is the storm I have always wanted on my shelf. This is the storm I have always liked the most. She is unique. She is dynamic. She is beautiful. This is it for me. It really is. The boots, the holes in the top of the boots, the one piece that's actually split with this gold ring. I love the gold ring. I have no idea why. It's just so alluring to me, the gold ring. I like the way that the cape hangs down and everything. And then this figure gave us 2 different capes, so you could change the kind of emotion and whatnot that you're kind of displaying. She has 2 heads. Also, long hair, flowing storm. That's my storm. That's my storm. This is it for me. And because of that, this storm doesn't really hold a place. Not even the head sculpt. I'm not even trying to keep the head sculpt. This storm is going in a bag. She's done. Which also brings us to this Wolverine, who he has been a decent key point in my collection for a while now. But now that I have the new Wolverine in the brown suit, this is a darker brown. One could argue maybe this is better color-wise than the new one. And also this one has decent butterflies. So we're not exactly getting an all-new body that is going to blow our minds or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that it's that much better. But I believe the new one is pinless, which... well, there went that. Some people could argue that makes a difference. He's pinless. He's still got the butterflies and everything. He's a really good body. He's a little brighter color, which some would argue maybe that's not what you're looking for. To me, I don't think it's going to bother me one way or another. If he's the darker brown, I think I would prefer that. But I think there's a comic accuracy also to the lighter brown, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't think it's going to bother me either way. I think it's solid either way you cut it. And speaking of cut it, your claws no longer cut it. You're out. This Wolverine is going in the bags. And lastly, talking about all the stuff that we're getting rid of right now. Are you surprised? Are you shocked? Are you surprised that this She-Ra is gone? This is one of the single worst Motu figures I have ever opened. I don't know if I just got a bad one. I made that argument back when I talked about her. But this right here, gone. And in all honesty, happy to be rid of her. That figure is terrible. There are going to be more figures that as I curate and I go through, I'm going to find, and then maybe we'll do another video like this. If you like these conversations, let me know. We will probably keep these up as I curate things out of the collection and talk about why or whether something's going to stay or something like that. But for right now, that's what I got. That's what's leaving the collection. And I will catch you guys later. Let me know what you think. I'm going to get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.